And so as we light our candles, let's open ourselves up to receive the field, to enter the field. It's like Luminaria and I are at the entrance and we're saying like, come to the playground, come join us at the playground. And each of you is coming in like, oh, like we're all little kids. I remember in the Bible, there was when I grew up Catholic, we read something that said, um, the children will enter the kingdoms of heaven. I don't know in English very well, but and so this is what we're doing. We're turning into children to enter this. Kevin, let's go. Join us. All right. So we're gonna open with the prayer.
Okay, let's see. We come with grateful, reverent, and open hearts to drink from the deep well of our eternal nature. We know that as we dive into the soul field together, we are held in a sacred and holy embrace by the source of all love, light, and grace. We allow our minds to expand into the holy realms where magic and miracles and play are commonplace. As we minister to ourselves, we minister to one another and our family humanity. We recognize we are one in the holy wholeness. We allow all we do here today to ripple out through our lives as a living witness of grace for the benefit of all our relations.
Venimos con corazones llenos de gratitud, reverencia y apertura a saciar nuestra sed en el pozo de nuestro propio ser eterno. Estamos conscientes de que al sumergirnos en el campo del alma somos acogidos en los santos brazos de la fuente sagrada de toda luz, amor y gracia infinita. Nos damos permiso de expandir nuestras mentes hacia el reino sagrado donde la magia y los milagros ocurren constantemente. De la misma manera en que nos predicamos a nosotros mismos, así predicamos al prójimo y a nuestra familia humana, reconociendo que somos uno en la totalidad sagrada. Permitimos que todo lo que se haga aquí hoy tenga una secuela en nuestras vidas como testimonio vivo de la gracia divina para el beneficio de todos. And so it is. That's beautiful. Today we're excited because it's the new year, and a lot of people do vision boards or New Year's resolutions, and we wanted to elevate that, take it up a notch. And we want to create together in the field a more supportive, more attune experience to possibilities, vibrating at a higher or different frequency, frequency. When people reflect on the year before, and it could be the Chinese year as well, it doesn't have to be this calendar year, but people think about how can I make the next year better? How can I improve my life? What do I want for my future? And that is part of evolution. It's awesome. It's great to do that. It's sort of like when people say, well, I want better health, or I want a new job, etc. Those are great wishes for sure. But what we want to do is to start tapping into why. Why do we want this? Why are we really wanting to have better health, for example? What are we getting out of a new job? What is the deep why that we're trying to achieve or find in this? So I want you to think for a moment, if you would indulge me, in your desire for this upcoming year.
Mm.
Um, what is it that you would like to receive or change or have? And start asking yourself why? Why? Why do I want that? Um, I want better health, better health. Why do I want better health? Well, because I want to be able to rock climb. But why do I want to be able to rock climb? Because I want to feel strong. Why do I want to feel strong? Because I want to be present in my life. Why do I want to be present in my life? Because the more present I am, the more I can interact with my loved ones, the more I can give to others. So if you see, the more you ask yourself whys, it's usually like 6 or 7 whys, then you get to the root of that. And that's what I would like for you to take a moment and find the root.
It's lovely, as we are given an opportunity to ask. You can feel it coming, like the deeper self starts coming forward. And for me, as I sat and listened, I could feel that at the essence, for me, it comes down to my soul calling, my soul yearning to really experience the joy of living in full congruence with that calling, with that divine invitation that's here in my life. And I'm assuming you're each getting to that place where you can feel like, yeah, that feels like the root, that feels like the place. When we can find the root of our why, we can we can let that be fuel. When we just like, oh, I want this, but we're not anchored into the very meaty, juicy root of the why. It's much harder for us to move our life forward. It's much harder for us to tap into the evolutionary energy because we don't have the fire and the passion and the desire that's really there online. Okay? So by touching into our deeper why, we start to bring that online. And as we start to bring that online, the next step then is to attune to the new frequency, whatever that is, whatever that new frequency is of what we are becoming, what we are tapping into, like to actually vibrate in a different way, to be molecularly changed. And one of the beautiful things is that in the quantum field, when we access that, which is what we're accessing when we enter into soul field, in the quantum field, in the space of the divine mind, all things already exist. All the evolutionary desires, all the callings of your soul in their full glory already exist there. And so when we can tap into that, we can literally bring that frequency to us to support our becoming in the now. It's sort of like reaching into time space and grabbing a future you and pulling it here and letting yourself feel what that is to be living that way or vibrating that way or orienting that way or having that health or having that abundance or having that new way of engaging in XYZ relationship, etc. Right? That we literally can feel it, and that cues our system in the now moment what is needed.
I don't know if it's happened to you that when you start thinking, let's say, about a white truck, then all of a sudden you see white trucks everywhere. Like, did they just appear magically in the streets? And it's not that, it's that our awareness is now saying, oh, this exists already. I just hadn't seen it. Everything exists already, but it is through our awareness, our deep awareness, that we can open and say, oh, there they are.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And so today we're going to do that. We're going to enter into the soul field together. And in that connection in the soul field, we're going to tap into that frequency of our becoming, of our evolutionary self that already exists. And we can think of this, sometimes it's hard to think of it as self, like maybe we're desiring some kind of evolutionary leap that we can't even imagine of ourself yet. But we can think of the divine as a whole, or the divine in a particular frequency that we tend to connect with, like, let's say, Christ or Magdalene or Kuan Yin or Shekinah. Like, in whatever way we link, we can think of that greater self, that greater divine self, and we can infuse from that. So even if we can't imagine it yet for ourselves, this thing that we're desiring, we know it exists in the divine mind. We know this. And so today we're going to tap into that. And we're going to prepare ourselves like we would prepare water to receive a tea bag and infuse. We're going to like get ourselves boiling and ready. We're like hot water. And we're going to bring that divine energy, that evolutionary frequency of the self that's already living fully and completely what we desire. We're going to bring that to this hot water, and we're going to let it infuse. And just like with a tea bag where it comes to the water and it totally changes the water, you can't take that out of the water again. It will change us, and it can't be undone. We're still the water, but we're different water. And that's what we're going to do today.
So exciting. We're gonna play today. We'll do the meditation now, and then we're going to just talk a little bit, all of us together, not in breakout rooms, but like together. And then we'll have a little more in-depth discussion. During the meditation, before the meditation, I'm going to be ringing my little bells, my Tibetan bells, to indicate the brain like, oh, we're starting. And then I'll ring them when it's time to tell the brain like, okay, let's come back to this present moment. And if you can have your pen and paper close by, or a place to write notes during the meditation, Luminaria is going to guide the meditation, and she's going to be asking some questions. So as much as possible, stay in the meditation, but still write something, like one eye open, one eye closed kind of thing. Connect to the field and translate that into words. As she asks questions, you can take a moment to answer them. Let's see. So go ahead.
I think that's good setup is
Okay,
yeah, so we will start internal. And as Nancy said, I'm going to ask some questions, but they're not intellectual questions. They're questions from the soul. And so when you write, you'll write a little bit, and then I'm going to bring you back into the meditation. And then we're going to write a little bit and bring you back into the meditation. So it'll be a little bit of a dance like that. But first we're going to dive in and land and let ourselves become receptive. And so setting your pen and paper down. allowing your body to adjust. As the gaze becomes internal, feel yourself softening. Feel the jaw and the mouth relax. Feel yourself settle into the upper chest. Settling down into the low belly. Feeling yourself softening and settling into the very marrow of your bones. Resting into the back side of the body, feeling the back of the head and the neck, the back of the shoulders, back of the heart, back of the upper belly, lower belly, the pelvic floor, the backs of the legs and arms. Letting each breath be an invitation into the now, into this sacred moment, into this space. That is simultaneously now and eternal. Dropping more and more into the soul field, where time and space are different. Where your body starts to be different. It might feel tingly or floaty. It might feel like there's oscillations or spirals happening. With each breath, your nervous system is settling, like sediment settling as water becomes more and more still. As your nervous system settles, you can feel gravity and you can feel yourself surrendering into the sacred embrace of our beloved earth. Letting your body be held. as you allow yourself to mingle more fully with the earth. Your vibration and her vibration harmonize. And there's such goodness here. You really receive that nourishment. Feel yourself connecting with the desire that you were tracking at the beginning of our time together today. And touching into that deep why, the roots of the desire, what it is that you're really desiring. And just breathe with that. Let it become alive in your body and your energy. And that desire is sending out a beacon call into the soul field. It's calling for the energy, the evolutionary energy, the energy of the divine mind, of your future self. That is fully alive with what you desire. And you can feel that call going out, and you can feel it reaching something that you're already connected to. And you begin to call that to you. Your desire is pulling that frequency to you. And like a tea bag entering hot water, when that frequency comes into your body and your energy field, it infuses you cellularly, molecularly. And you keep drawing that frequency of your desire, intention, your why fulfilled in its full glory. Keep drawing that in. And you can feel yourself being changed. You may even see things happening. Or you may simply have a knowing. Allow this steeping. Drink in the nourishment of it. Perhaps your body wants to have movement to support that infusion. If it does, allow it. Perhaps there's a breath that supports being even more steeped in the frequency of fulfillment of your desire, the matching energy. And begin to make note. What are the sensations and the qualities of this vibration as you are now vibrating in the frequency of what you desire in your becoming? Notice the frequencies, the sensations. Notice how you feel. And take a moment when you're ready and just make a couple notes of the feeling. Of the quality of this vibration. And then allow your awareness to drop back inward. Allow your attention to go back to just receiving what it is to be steeped with this new energetic, this new vibrational blueprint. To be one in the soul field with that which you desire. From this place of vibrational connection, see if there is an image or a color or a symbol that can be a representation of the resonance. So we're just asking the great wisdom that's flowing with us. This frequency, is there a symbol, a color, an image that can be a representation, like a holistic representation of this new frequency? Just sit with that for a moment, see what arises. When you feel as though you have that holistic representation, image or color or symbol, make a little note so you can track back to it. And then allow your awareness to come back internal as soon as you've made a note. And just feeling the goodness of this new vibrational frequency, receiving the nourishment like you're a sponge, absorbing it more and more with each breath. Becoming it more and more with each breath. And dropping this question and just seeing what arises from this place of connection. What shall I know or understand to support me in embodying this frequency more fully? What shall I know or understand to support me in embodying this frequency more fully? And just listening to what arises, images, sensations, awarenesses. And when you feel your listening is complete, make a note of what arose. What shall I know or understand to support me in embodying this frequency more fully? And after you make a note, after that listening feels complete, you allow your awareness to drop inward again. Feel yourself vibrating in this new frequency. Breathe in the attunement to the desire fulfilled that is living in your body and in your field. Begin to feel into your life from this frequency. Feel what it would be like to live from this frequency. Imagine yourself moving through a day or one aspect of life. Maybe the particular aspect that you brought into the meditation. Feel what happens from this frequency when you imagine your life. Notice the ways that your life feels or looks or is different from this frequency. And then checking back in with that symbol, that color, that image that is the representation. Breathing that alive in your awareness. And asking this symbol, image, or color to hold the fullness of this new frequency vibration. See it holding all of the awareness, the wholeness of this experience, and all that is yet to be revealed in this new way. It's like both the flower and the seed at the same time. And then very gently holding that image or color or symbol in your mind's eye, in your heart, and in your womb. Allow yourself to begin to come back to the surface. Mm.
It's beautiful. Mm. It's incredible. The analogy of the tea bag really allowed me to drop in. I just felt it soaking in my whole body. It's just magical. And I know that for me, one of my requests is to have a lot of financial ease, a lot of like not having to work for money. And when I started going deeper, like why? And it's because I want to be able to relax and experience ease. And why? Because I wanted more vitality, but also I want to share with my friends and loved ones. And what I realize is like I really want to love more and give more. And so there's what I really want is the vitality. The symbol that came for me was a crystal heart. Well, this one is clear, but it was a red one. And it was shooting like it was like on fire, but not hot. And it was projecting light all around. So it was like something like this, but red. And when I was asking how do I need to take this into my life, and it was through exercise, taking time for me in nature. And the way that this heart is going to help me is by putting myself first, scheduling that. And so in the beginning, I started with, oh, this is what I want. But in reality, this is what I want. So if you don't mind, I would love to hear from whoever wants to share. Maybe put it in the chat or unmute yourself and share your experience if you feel called to.
Thank you for sharing. And I love the specificity, right? When we ask at the level of soul and we listen here, the specificity, like sweet citrus, it will sometimes be so specific. Sometimes it's more general, but like, oh, this blanket and the sweet citrus, like, it's amazing. We wouldn't think of that, right? But the soul knows and the field can speak to us.
Yeah. I would love to hear your symbols. If you want to share briefly, maybe you can put them in the chat, what your symbols are.
Ooh, when you said
then Rose.
each feather touching the air, I could feel that. Whoa, that level of connectedness and aliveness and attunement of that. So potent. Wow.
Like the breath.
Can people feel this? Just like, I mean, you can feel it, right? Everybody's share is a transmission. We can feel it's vibrational, it's alive. These aren't concepts, these are embodied energies. They're alive. And when we're talking about creating and living our best life, you know, this is part of what happens this time of year. We think like, how can I make this year better, or whatever that is, right? When we're talking about living our best life, it's embodying that frequency and letting that frequency guide us, like one decision at a time. So when we come up to points in life, like, should I do this or that? Is it you know, this type of citrus or that type of citrus? Is it a priority today to go sit by the water or to snuggle inside by the fire? Like when we're deciding our life, we can decide our life literally with that frequency, one moment at a time, 1 minute at a time.
One micro moment.
Yeah, yeah. And so we have an invitation for how to use the symbol that came to you, the image, the symbol, the color that came to you, to support you with that. Like it's a tuning fork so that you're continuing to attune to that frequency day by day throughout your life.
I think that we sometimes go around life a little bit numb and a little bit disconnected, and having some tools, something to ground us and reconnect us is so helpful to remember, to be present. And it doesn't require a lot of time. 1 minute is enough to just feel. I mean, when Aria said soak in the tea bag, it took less than half a second, you know, a microsecond for me to feel the energy. And so this practice that we're going to share with you will take just 1 minute to practice. Do you want to share, Luminari, what?
Sure, yeah. So what we'd like for you to do is somewhere in your morning ritual, whatever your morning ritual is, give yourself 1 minute where you close your eyes. You can do it in bed before you get out of bed, for example, where you close your eyes and you connect with that symbol or that image that you found when you were in this deep process. And just breathe with that. Let yourself just be with it literally for 1 minute. And you'll know a minute. It's quick, but just let yourself be with it. And so for me, I'll give an example. My image was an image I actually, if any of you were in our Facebook group, you saw a picture that I posted of this sort of like gorgeous mesquite or manzanita with the bark off, showing the deep red tree, and it was wet from the rain. We were hiking in the rain the other day, and it was so just like luscious and alive. And so when I tune to it now, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like sharing this with you, I can see the aliveness of it, and I can feel it like actually pulsing towards me, right? So you'll interact with your image there for a minute in whatever way. You'll let it minister to you. You'll receive from it and connect with it. And you'll allow yourself to remember that frequency in your body. And then go about whatever's next in your morning.
Yeah. I'd like having something solid to ground me and remind you, but it doesn't have to be you could draw something for yourself, or you could find a feather or a blanket or citrus or whatever it is that represents. I like having something to touch and feel connected to, but it doesn't have, it can be just a feeling as well.
Mhm.
And wow, I would love to hear the rest of your symbol. So if you don't mind putting it in the chat while we talk about what's coming up for us. Thank you for joining us today. With the holidays and everything, it was a little bit hard to be a little more proactive and tell everybody ahead of time, but thank you for showing up and being here. You are our why. You are the reason why we're here,
Mhm.
and we appreciate you being here.
So much.
Our next soul feel is going to be on the 28th. So we're trying to do it the second and the fourth Sundays at 11 a.m. and Pacific Standard Time. The soul feels are going to be recorded. So if for some reason you can't access it, you can't, it's not, you know, in your schedule, you will have access to that later on. The next soul feel is again the 28th of this month. And then in February, we'll have it on the 11th and on the 25th. So the second and fourth Sunday
You
of
can
the
mark
month.
your calendars.
Yes, put it on your calendar so in case we don't get you. Um, and then I think all of you have your email addresses, but just in case, soul the soul field experience at gmail.com. I think you will have it, but
If
and
you're not on
then
our email, you can email us there to make sure you get on the list if you're not receiving our emails.
yes. And then also we have a Facebook group where, sometimes we share events and things like that. Like just fun stuff as well. And I'm going to post the link. If you're not active on Facebook, it's okay. We'll email you the information as well. I'm gonna put the Facebook group in case. And I think
We're
that's
gonna end with our closing prayer. And but I want to just somebody put in the chat their image. I just want to speak it. Floating in a tube and realizing that my feet are grounding me in Mother Earth simultaneously.
oh, yeah.
Love this. And it's interesting. I think we all had some similar frequencies, but I definitely felt the grounded floating the whole time. That was one of the frequencies that was in the field experience for me when I tapped in. So
And I love
sharing.
the also the possibilities of duality. There's doesn't have to be something that is emitting fire but is burning. It doesn't have to burn, or you can be floating but also grounded and on the earth at the same time. So that is the field of possibilities of creative magic. So yes.
So we're going to speak our closing prayer, and then we'll see you hopefully in a couple weeks, I guess. Here we go. We are deeply grateful to have experienced this miraculous communion with our holy wholeness in the soul field. We wholeheartedly receive the upliftment of one another's communion and blessed soul light. As we close this formal gathering, we each in our own way will continue dwelling in the soul field and supporting our collective evolution. With deep gratitude, we thank one another and all our angels, guides, and guardians. Remembering as we minister to ourselves, we uplift one another. We encourage the magic we co-created to ripple out to all our relations for the benefit of all beings.
Damos profundas gracias por esta experiencia milagrosa de comunión con nuestro ser sagrado aquí en el Soul Field, en el campo del alma. De todo corazón recibimos la elevación de esta comunión y de la luz de nuestra alma bendita en cada uno de nosotros. Al culminar formalmente esta reunión, cada uno de nosotros, de manera particular, permaneceremos en el Soul Field, en el campo del alma, apoyando nuestra evolución colectiva. Con profunda gratitud, damos gracias a cada uno de nosotros y a nuestros ángeles, guías y guardianes de luz y a nuestros ancestros, recordando que al predicar a nosotros mismos, nos elevamos el uno al otro y alentamos la magia que acabamos de co-crear para que se expanda a todas nuestras relaciones para el beneficio de todos. And so we're going to close the field together and blow out your candles. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Carry the field within us.